Yeah. Get high rapper. The man hour. You already know. It's live. It's raw. It's going down. Like this. I'm going around and letting everybody know that they welcome to the show. It's the latest thing you ever seen, you already know. Let me introduce you to your host of the hour. It be Mike and Mike. Yeah, it's the man hour. Got the hottest plays, all the breaking news. Every rumor, every trade, every breaking bruise. Tighten knuckle screws. Yeah, it's going down. Have you saying what the fuck and never watered down. It's going down. I'll be rolling up. And if you buy it or you sell it, then you made the cut. Watch me flip it back. I can double up. I got sriracha for that ass, I'ma burn it up. Gotta check the rules, but know that it be fair and foul. Rep blow the whistle, coach throw the towel. We can do this on the field or outside the lines. It's the man hour though, now we going live.
Step Brothers, they are definitely top 10 movies on me, 100%, and I love every minute of those movies. So let's talk, some sports movies here, real quick. I'm going to put you on the spot. What are your top 10? No. Let's just do top 5 sports movies of like all time.
Man, top 5. I mean, I wouldn't really consider Talladega Nights really a sports movie. It's more of
it's a comedy.
Yeah. But sports movies, man, Remember the Titans, Radio.
That's kind of a surprising pick.
Yeah, man, Radio was really good, man. It was an inspirational story. You know what I mean? Like I can always get behind like an inspirational story like that, right? I mean, the guy didn't. I mean, the way everything was like. That was super inspirational. Rudy. That, I mean, you can't leave Rudy out.
Right.
Let's see. And I'm gonna go with The Longest Yard. I really like that movie with Adam Sandler and Nelly and all of them. That was a really good movie.
So my top 5 is a little bit different than yours. I think the number one sports movie of all time is probably Any Given Sunday with Jamie Foxx. It's just like I love just the rawness of that movie, 100%. I do like Friday Night Lights as well. I think that's kind of like a heart wrenching, kind of like a true story, like like on the other side of the championship, because not everybody can win a state championship, right? I mean, there are losers in the state championship game, and like that kind of falls back.
What
on
movie
that.
Was that? What was
Friday Night Lights?
Friday Night Lights. Ooh, Varsity Blues was good too.
Yeah, Varsity Blues was my number 3 spot. Now I can never see high school kids doing this ever whatsoever, but but yeah, 3 is Varsity Blues.
You didn't do it when you were in high school. Did you not do that? Did you not have those shenanigans in high school?
We did those shenanigans, but we didn't kick our coach out like a halftime in a championship game.
No.
But maybe things are different down there in like Texas. Maybe it's a player-ran high school association, right? But number 4, I love The Replacements. I cannot get enough of The Replacements. I love The Replacements. And number 5 is kind of a toss-up to me. I'm going to slide in some basketball. I mean, me being a Hoosier now, living in the state of Indiana. But I got to go with Coach Carter. I really like Coach Carter, too.
I don't even think I've ever seen that movie, man.
Man, you have to watch that movie. It is about some inner city black kids so like basically the coach has retired and they bring in like a old alumni coach, and like he is a very strict, hardcore, straight narrow coach, and he has to basically bring in a bunch of thugs and hood rats and make them into a straight narrow team, and it's just a really inspirational story, and there's a lot of backside and whatnot. So I mean, Coach Carter definitely.
We forgot about Space Jam.
Is Space Jam really I don't know. I mean, like I watched Space Jam again with my son, and I was like, man. First of all, Michael Jordan's a horrible actor. They could have got anybody else besides Michael Jordan. Yes, I know he is the greatest basketball player of like all time, but man, his acting skills are horrible. Maybe Space Jam 2 with like LeBron James will be better, right?
Maybe. Let us know, guys, in the comments. What are y'all's top sports movies?
Yeah, so Steve Deere comes in and says they're the replacements. I do have Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve just got
Is
a
he a
badge
top
too.
fan?
Steve's a top fan. Hell yeah. Welcome
Top
to
fan.
Fox 10.
Look at that.
Oh, man. Steve just got 10 entries into the $100 Amazon gift card, becoming a top fan. Key
Look at that.
Williams,
I
what
think-
is up as well? Welcome to the show.
I think Steve might be in the lead for that. Wait, no, we're gonna pull randomly.
Yeah.
But I think Steve
but
probably
he has
the
more of a
most
chance, too.
interest. Yeah.
Oh, Key Williams just brought up another good movie that I like, Little Giants. Yeah, that's a good movie too.
Good movie.
That is a kids pop Warner classic underdog story.
Dude, The Sandlot.
Yeah. Oh shit! I mean,
How did we forget The Sandlot?
maybe because it's so old, maybe that you kind of like overlook like the older movies. You know, like Hoosiers. I mean, Hoosiers is a great movie too. You know, but I didn't slide that into the top 5. I mean, just there are so many great sports movies out there. It is absolutely crazy, like how many great sports movies that are out there. I mean,
So speaking of sports movies,
Rookie
of the Year.
Yeah.
That was a good one, Key. Do you watch Hard Knocks? Every
when
year?
I can, like I don't watch it religiously, but when it's on, like on a marathon, I do watch 4, 5, 6 episodes like at once.
I usually watch it every year. I really like watching Hard Knocks. And then there's Last Chance U. Have you ever checked that out on Netflix?
Yes, so
That was really
I
good,
actually so the Last Chance U season 3, the Indy U coach was my coach at JUCO before I transferred to K State. So let's go ahead and jump over to the chat. I mean, we definitely skipped over some great movies. So Steve says The Replacements is his number 1. Remember the Titans, Sandlocked, Field of Dreams, another great movie, and then Varsity Blues. And then Key says the Gridiron Game with The Rock was really good movie too. And you know what else?
Oh,
We are kind of overseeing Charlie Sheen and Major League. I mean, all 3 of those Major League movies
all
are,
of those.
are pretty good. I would say number 2 is probably the best. Back to the Minors, I think it is. No, that's number 3. What is number 2? But yeah, basically when they all get rich and never want to play anymore until they start sucking again and the old owner comes back up. My brother-in-law, Jason, what's up, Jason? Says Coach Carter. I mean, yeah, I put Coach Carter as number 5. Man, Mike, you got to watch Coach Carter, man. You have to.
I'll definitely have to check that
I think
out.
it's on Netflix right now, actually. So there's a lot of good movies out on Netflix. Key comes up and says We Are Marshall. I have not seen We Are Marshall.
Ooh, I forgot about that. That was a really good movie too. We Are Marshall.
That's a true story too, isn't it? Like the plane crash, and did everybody die on the plane, or just a couple, or like only 2 people lived, or something like that? I don't know.
Yep.
But nonetheless, guys, welcome to the show, guys. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Be sure to get Key Williams. Thanks for the like, my man. Be sure to share this live video to get a chance to win that $100 Amazon gift card once we hit the 500 like marks. Mike, I believe we're just under 400 likes on the page right now. So we have officially been a show for 1 week. A little under 500 likes. I mean, shit, we're doing good over here, guys. So thank you for all the support. Thank you for everything. But we are going to take a quick little commercial break. And after the break, we are going to jump into Mike's thoughts of what is really going on in the world of Mike LeBlaw's mind. We'll be right back, guys. Mike and Mike Man Hour, rtsportsnetwork.com.
Man Hour. You already know. It's live. It's raw. It's going down. Like this. I'm going around and letting everybody know that they welcome to the show. It's the latest thing you ever seen, you already know. Let me introduce you to your host of the hour. It be Mike and Mike. Yeah, it's the Man Hour. Got the hottest plays, all the breaking news. Every rumor, every trade, every breaking bruise. Tight your knuckle screws. Yeah, it's going down. Have you saying what the fuck and never watered down? It's going down. I'll be rolling up. And if you buy it or you sell it, then you made the cut. Watch me flip it back. I can double up. I got sriracha for that ass, I'ma burn it up. Got gotta check the rules and know that it be fair and foul. Rep blow the whistle, coach throw the towel. We can do this on the field or outside the lines. It's the man now and though, now we going live.
And welcome back to the Mike and Mike Man Hour, guys, with my man, Mike LeBlanc, and myself, Michael Buckhuister. You guys can hear us live on the RTFSportsNetwork.com, noon to 1 p.m. East Coast time, right there on RTFNetwork.com. We're also live on Facebook tonight from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. East Coast time. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us out on iTunes, Spotify, and now iHeartRadio as well. So, Mike, it is that time of night where I just let you do you, man. You grab the mic, you grab your whiskey, and let us have it.
Oh, here we go.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
All right, so I'm going to pour a little bit of whiskey on this one. So, Buck asked me a question during our pre-show. If I thought that Dak Prescott will sign a long-term deal by the deadline in a couple weeks. I don't. I really don't think he signs a long-term deal. I think the Cowboys are happy with the deal that they've offered, and I don't think they want to budge. Dak Prescott's agent come out and that all between the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. Now, I did read an article today saying that, Jerry and company will try to negotiate all the way up into that last hour. But let's be honest, the contract that the Cowboys offered him is just a little bit more. It's still in the 30s. I think it's like 34, 35. So it's almost the exact same what you're going to get paid on your franchise tag. You'll get paid a little more if you sign the Cowboys long-term deal. But I think Dak saw Patrick Mahomes' contract, and he feels he should probably get the same. Dak Prescott, take the deal, what you're being offered, because you're getting overpaid, in my opinion. I don't think you're worth $30 million. I think you're worth $25 to $28 million. When you can beat a team, when you can beat playoff teams consistently, then maybe we can talk. But in my opinion, you are not the Cowboys' future. You're not going to be there long haul. And I think Dalton will start for the next 2 or 3 years, and we draft a quarterback and groom him. That's my thoughts. Dak, go sit down.
Woo. Mike. Too bad it's not hump day. That is like the most classic hump day thing. Mike, right? So with Dak Prescott signing that franchise tender, I think he's getting paid $37.7 million this season. And I think that's higher than Russell Wilson.
It's
more than Carson Wentz.
Yes.
Which, yeah, they both have Super Bowl rings. Yes, Carson Wentz didn't play in the Super Bowl, but he still has a ring. It's more than Jared Goff. He went to the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
I believe that's more than actually. I think Aaron Rodgers and him are making right about the same money. So needless to say, you are being overpaid 100% for your, I believe, one playoff win, if I'm not mistaken, right? One playoff win? Yeah, one playoff win. Congratulations to Dak Prescott. So with that being said, we have seen Jerry Jones put his toes up to that line and say, I'm not going to cross it. I'm not going to budge until it is time. And then we see him cave. We saw it with Zeke last year, right? I mean,
Zeke was worth that. Zeke was worth that money.
Mike, we've been over this. Running backs are kind of dime a dozen. And
but
yes, Zeke is a top running back. Zeke is a special talent, but $90 million for a running back? That's tough.
He's worth it. In my opinion, Zeke is worth it. Because if you take Zeke out of that Cowboys offense, is the Cowboys do they lose more than 8 games last season? Whatever they lost, 7 or 8.
Yeah,
I think they do.
You are 100% correct. When Zeke Elliott is performing and getting the ball, that is a totally different Dallas Cowboys offense. Yes.
I mean, the NFL put out an article today ranking the top running backs, top 10, and number 1 was Christian McCaffrey, number 2 was Zeke, and number 3 was Kamara.
Really, Alvin Kamara was Top 3?
I
Better
think
than
so.
Saquon?
Yeah, better than Saquon. They had Saquon at like number 6, I think.
So, I mean, like, I know this is like your thought was about Dak, but you know who just recently got cut after signing a mega deal? Was that Todd Gurley for the LA Rams? Remember when Todd Gurley signed that mega deal and then could not produce shit afterwards? And yeah, quite frankly, hopefully Zeke doesn't do the same thing. Oh, like I see as Jake from Snake Sports Talk, he said the same thing. Yes, it is way too early to pay Zeke in his eyes, but the problem with Zeke was he was willing to sit out the whole season to get his money.
Yeah. I mean, if Dak Prescott sits the whole season, are the Cowboys worried? Not really. They have Dalton, and Dalton, like I've said in the past, Dalton fits Mike McCarthy's scheme a lot better than Dak Prescott.
So
right?
The problem with the situation that Dak Prescott is in is he has no leverage. He has already signed the franchise tender. So, I mean, it would be dumb for him not to play this season just to make $37.7 million. But the reason why Dak has no leverage is because look at the available quarterbacks out there on the market. As yes, they're on team right now, but they're backups. Cam Newton right now is slated to be a backup. I mean, we seen his value's probably a 3rd round pick. I think the Cowboys could use somebody like Cam Newton if Andy Dalton doesn't pan out. You have Jameis as a backup at Saints. We've seen what happened to Teddy when he was a backup to Drew Brees. Groom him, learn how to be a professional. Next year, Jameis Winston could turn his season around 100%. And then, like I said earlier, like Carr for the Las Vegas Raiders. I actually had him going to the Patriots. I thought that would be a great pickup for the New England, but now reevaluating the landscape, he could fit in Dallas too. So Dak has no leverage. He is not going to get a long-term deal. He needs to play out this franchise tag.
And to say you paid Zeke too early, let me just reference something for you, okay? Derrick Henry led the league last season in rushing, okay?
Okay.
How many games did Zeke hold out for?
4, wasn't it? 3, 4?
4 games in the 2019 season, which was, let me remind all of you out there, was last season.
They went 2-2 during those 4 games as well?
Nope. Zeke played 16 games. It was a year before.
Right.
Never mind. I'm about to put my foot in my mouth. Zeke sat out the year before. But still, last year, 301 attempts, 1,350 yards rushing, 12 rushing touchdowns, 420 yards receiving, 2 receiving touchdowns. I mean, he's still, like, Zeke has finished as the top the top running back in, let's see. He's so consistent since, so he's led the league 3 of the 4. Wait, no, he's been in for 5 years now, right? He's led ever since he's been in the league. He's led 3 years and hasn't led 2. Last season and the season he held out. But for the first 3 years he was in the league, he led the league in rushing.
What about the season he missed those 4 games? Did he lead the rushing in that season too? No, I don't have Zeke's stats in front of me.
He came in 2nd or 3rd that year.
Okay.
Even after holding out those first 4 games.
So Jake in the chat here says, my thing with Zeke was the same thing with Melvin Gordon and the Chargers. So the Chargers gave Melvin Gordon $10 million a year, and Melvin Gordon wasn't happy, right? So did they have to pay over Zeke to keep him happy, to keep him there? Probably. But on the flip side,
Zeke is a better running back than Melvin Gordon. Yeah, let's be honest.
Melvin Gordon did not deserve, quote, Zeke money, like in the end. No. Melvin Gordon is another dime a dozen. Like I've said, man, we're getting a lot of likes and follows tonight, guys. Thank you for all the support and all the love. Keep sharing and liking this page for the chance to win that $100 Amazon gift card. But like I was saying, I'm going to play devil's advocate a little here. Now, let me mark my term here, mark my footing. I don't think Dak deserves a long-term deal or that mega deal by any means. But when Zeke Elliott performs well, right? Zeke plays well. When Zeke performs well, Dak plays well on top of that. So it is kind of a 1-2 punch, right? When Dak plays shitty, Zeke plays shitty. So
not necessarily, not true. Zeke has had some really good games, and Dak Prescott shit the bed.
What is considered a really good game? Over 100 yards on the ground, a few scores
for Zeke. Yeah, in between over 100 to 120 yards. A touchdown or two. I think that's a good game for any running back. I mean, when Zeke's had 200+ yard games, you know what I mean?
Right.
Those are really good games. But
I'm saying the Dallas Cowboys look Super Bowl caliber team when they both play well, when Dak and Zeke complement each other. My question is going to raise, and if this can happen, can Andy Dalton and Zeke have that same 1-2 punch? I don't know if they can, to be honest, because like we said, Dak Prescott is a pocket quarterback, but he does have scrambling ability. We've seen him make some really good plays. Andy Dalton, not so much. I think he runs a lot like Tom Brady, like a 6'2", 40-yard dash, right? Looks very like a wounded duck, So can that type of quarterback really complement Zeke, or does that even catapult Zeke even more? That's a question to you.
No, I think it does, because a lot of teams have provided the blueprint to beat the Cowboys, right? If you shut Zeke down,
force Dak to throw the ball down the field, much like Ravens, right?
Yeah. I mean, no, because Lamar Jackson can make things happen with his feet. And I'm not saying that Dak Prescott can't, but he is definitely not as good as Lamar Jackson. But anyway, if you shut down Zeke, you put the ball on Dak Prescott's shoulders, he chokes every time. We saw it against all the playoff teams that the Cowboys played last year. They shut Zeke down, and
my question still stands. Were they healthy?
Let me tell you this. Who?
The Cowboys.
The offensive line?
Yeah, everybody.
They were healthy. Yeah, they were healthy, except on the defensive side of the ball.
Defense wins championships, right?
I mean, you're absolutely right. Look at San Francisco. They went to the Super Bowl, but they didn't make it. But, I mean, the defense carried San Francisco. I think Andy Dalton with Zeke as a running back, because I think Andy Dalton is one of those players that you can put the game on his back, and he can at least throw the ball down the field, and he can make those accurate and smart throws. And like I've said, I think Andy Dalton's football IQ is a lot higher than Dak Prescott's.
So like I said, I'm still playing devil's advocate here, and I think we are underestimating Dak Prescott's football IQ too. I mean, he did spend a year with Tony Romo in his ear all season, and he did have John Kitna and what's the other quarterback guru that was on there? Kellen Moore. So, I mean, they were both, both pretty good football IQs, and at some point, you have to absorb some of that football IQ, right? I mean, at some point, you have to.
So if Albert Einstein was to teach you physics, you would be proficient in physics. You think?
I think I would be better off than what I am now. Well, so
maybe
that's kind of comparing apples to oranges, right? I am not physics smart by any means, but if you had a physics student learning from Albert Einstein, yes, they would pick up more than like me. Obviously, Dak Prescott is a good quarterback because he is in the NFL, right? I mean, he has to absorb some of that knowledge. Like, it is just like playing underneath Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan. Yes, you may be an average basketball player, but you are going to learn the mentality of how to be a great player at some point. Like, unless you're just a complete boneheaded, hard-headed SOB.
Yeah, but just because you have the talent, I mean, at some point your talent has to, even though that you may have a decent or good football IQ, at some point your talent is going to have to take over to elevate you to that great status, right? Aaron
Right.
Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, those Drew Brees, those caliber of players.
Right.
I
Right.
don't ever see Dak Prescott reaching that level. I don't even see him reaching the level of an Eli Manning or a
Oh,
Matt Ryan.
man. Eli Manning is the staple of mediocrity. What, 92 touchdowns and 92
No,
interceptions?
yeah, but you got to understand a lot of those interceptions came at the end of his career.
Okay. It's still a staple of
Eli
mediocrity.
Manning, I mean, the man won two Super Bowls. He won two Super Bowls
Come on
against
now.
Tom Brady.
Really?
Come on now.
You think the Giants offense versus the versus the New England defense, they will win every time? No, that defense won them championships. Look at that defense that they had, like Michael Strahan and all those. I mean, come on. The Giants had killer defenses this season.
Did you not watch the Super Bowl?
I watched every Super Bowl. I may have been a little under the
Did
weather.
you not see? I can't remember was it? No, it went. Plexico Burress caught the winning touchdown for the Super Bowl,
And then he shot
but it was
himself
that
in the leg.
other receiver that like caught it on his head
Yeah,
or whatever
whatever his name
because
was.
of Eli Manning's scrambling and football IQ and ability and pure talent. You know what I mean? Like Dak Prescott will never be an Eli Manning. I'm sorry.
True. I mean, like I'm not saying that, but you know who Dak Prescott reminds me of? Not because of his
don't say Big
winning.
Ben.
What?
Don't say Big Ben.
No, he doesn't. He reminds me of like Alex Smith. I think he truly is a underrated quarterback, and like in the right system with the right coach, he will excel. Much like Alex Smith did in Kansas City, he really excelled when he came to the Chiefs. So Dak Prescott's best friend right now is not to get a long-term deal with the Dallas Cowboys, play off this franchise tag, maybe have a mediocre year, get traded to a semi-good team. I don't know. Think of any good team that is, right around the 500 mark. I think he could catapult them to 9-7, 10-6 type of seasons. So,
No, if Dak doesn't have weapons around him, Dak cannot play.
that's why I said have a mediocre season and get traded to a mediocre team. Like a few weapons, like the Bears, for like example. They have a few weapons like around them, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they don't have receivers like Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup.
Our debate like last week when I said Lamar Jackson on the Dallas Cowboys would make the Cowboys worse. Dak Prescott on the Baltimore Ravens would make the Ravens better. We'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Mike's thoughts.
You dropped him with that.
And welcome back to Mike and Mike Man Hour with my man, Mike LeBlanc. I am Michael Buckheiser coming to you live on our Facebook page, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. East Coast time, Sunday through Thursday. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, go head over to rtfsportsnetwork.com tomorrow at noon East Coast time. Check us out Monday through Friday. And if that's not your cup of tea, we're also on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio as well. Also, IGTV if you are Instagram connoisseur. So, Mike, man, I had to slide in that last little jab.
Nope. You can't just drop the mic like that and not expect me not to say anything what you just said.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to some like NFL news here. So it was announced about 1 o'clock East Coast time today that the Washington Redskins have officially retired the name Redskins. I'm not for sure if it was Washington Redskins like as a whole or Redskins. I'm not going to lie. I didn't read the whole article. I just read the title and like I had enough of it. So Mike, I'm going to let you have the floor first, and then I'm going to really tell you how it is at the end of the day. So what are your thoughts about the Redskins retiring the name, the Washington Redskins?
People are going to hate me.
They can't hate you. You're good looking.
I mean, it's just this generation of everything offends me.
Hashtag
I
me too,
mean,
right?
and don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are Native Americans who have protested the Washington Redskins name for years. I get that. But and could it be just mainstream media? Could be that too. I just, I don't see, then, you know what? Then we need to change the Kansas City Chiefs name. We need to change the Patriots because now what is considered a patriot? Patriot is considered someone that loves their country and voted for Trump. That's what all these people say.
Right.
So let's change the Patriots name because that offends me. Let's change the Dallas Cowboys name because they ran around and they're the ones, the Cowboys and Indians. Remember playing that game when you were a little kid? Cowboys ran around and shot Indians. And all right, so let's get rid of the Dallas Cowboys name. Let's see who else.
The Vikings, they are considered a white supremacy group.
Yeah, the Vikings. They're not so much of a white supremacy group, but Vikings, remember, they used to go around and take people's land and plunder and pillage everybody. So that should offend you too. So let's go ahead and take that name away. Yeah, I mean, we could go on about other teams. It's just at some point you're going to have to draw the line, and we live in such a political correct world these days. Why can't we just go back to, the 90s and the 80s when everything was simpler?
You know who is not politically
everybody
correct?
Out there that's our age? No. Well, no, I won't say that. I'll say the people in their 40s and 50s. Y'all raised a bunch of brats. And it's people in my generation too, because people a little older than me in their 40s, like I'm 38. I have an 18-year-old daughter, so when you've got kids super young, but 5 or 6 years older than me. So let's call it my generation. Like, what the hell were we thinking? Giving out participation trophies. What did you think these kids were going to grow up to be?
Right. So, I mean, like, I'm even going to go a step further, and it is my generation. Well, yours and my generation that's raising the kids that are coming out being all this PC hashtag Me Too nonsense. Want to jump the mainstream media's nuts and, like, fight it tooth and nail because they said this and I'm supporter of a Republican Party or whatever. Right. So I got into a debate earlier today about the Washington Redskin name. And so a friend of mine, we played football together about 4 or 5 years. I believe we played on the arena circuit indoor football league there. And his kids are part Native American. I believe they're a quarter, maybe even a half. And we got on this debate going back and forth. And like he says, I'm glad this the name Redskins is gone. It is a racist term. It is this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Mike, let me ask you this. When is the last time you ever heard anybody refer to a Native American as a Redskin, like as a derogatory term, or even call them a Redskin, period? I mean, like, I don't see a Native American walking down the streets like, man, that fucking Redskin. Like, I just don't do that. Do you hear that in rap songs as a derogatory term? No, you don't. Because I didn't even know it was a derogatory term till last week, to be honest. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think anything of it as a derogatory term. And I can tell you that probably 95% of white America or black America or America, period, didn't even think of it as a derogatory term until somebody said it. Now, with that being said, there was a study that was held on a Indian reservation, right? And they polled the population of like 5,000 or 6,000 people, right? They asked, does the name Redskin offend you? The polls were inconclusive because everybody wrote down the answer. We don't have time for this, aka meaning they have better things to worry about than a name on an NFL team, right? So they have real things to worry about. Like, let's be honest. If you want to look at it in terms of the American Indian, right? Let's look at it in terms of that. White people, we're privileged. Black people, you're privileged. Mexican people, you're privileged. Italian people, you're privileged.
any other race in America is privileged, okay?
Right.
When it comes to the Native American, because our government continues to take and strip their land little by little by little still to this day.
Right.
And it's not because they call them Redskins. It has nothing to do with that. So if you're worried about a racist name, like, how about you start calling your congressmen and your senators and tell them stop taking their land away? But no, you want to go after a football team who you think has a race. See, this is my whole point, even with like any kind of protest. Everybody wants to bitch and complain and moan and whine.
But what are you doing about
Nobody wants to do shit about it. Sure, oh, you want to get out there and protest? Okay, why weren't you protesting this before Floyd? Yes, and there were the Black Lives Matter movement was going on, but it was not as big. And all of these people, now you see celebrities tweeting about it, and everybody's on the bandwagon now. Where were you before George Floyd died, when you possibly could have done something about it and Floyd didn't have to lose his life? Where were you then?
They were protesting in St. Louis, Missouri area. I forget the name of the town when that what was the kid's name that got shot? The big black kid that didn't have a gun, and the cop shot him in the back or something like that. I can't remember his name right now, but they were protesting there and like rioting and stuff like that. But nothing got done because you know why? Because they were rioting the town, and the police are like, you know what? You do what you want. They walked away. They tore the town completely apart. If you drive through that town on I-70 right now, it is a desert town, right? So, like that was the same point that I brought up to my friend. You know, we had a civilized debate, like without personally like attacking each other, and I love that, like about him. But the fact, so like my point was, in 1939, when the Redskins changed their names from the Braves to the Redskins, why wasn't it a big deal then? Why wasn't it a big deal in 1960? Why wasn't it a big deal in 1985? Why wasn't it a big deal in 2005? You know, like it just
and you know that's what gets me too, because that's closer to the time period. You know what I mean? Like
right.
You would have thought by like then, because civil rights movement happened, right?
Right.
So why weren't there civil rights for the Native American? And why didn't you march for that? Because the Washington or the team, they call themselves the Redskins.
Right. So one of the biggest concerns about the name Redskins wasn't really the name of the Redskins. It was their on-field antics, like the people wearing the headdresses and dressing in the war paint and like all that stuff. Well, what about the Kansas City Chiefs? They ride out on a white horse with a headdress on, with a arrowhead with feathers hanging out to it, and they stab it in the middle of the field before every game and after every touchdown. What about Florida State that does the same thing? Why are we not going after the Braves, the Chiefs, the Warriors, the Seminoles? Like, why is it the Redskins? Why is it only the Redskins? You know, like at what point are we just going to have Kansas City A, Kansas City B, Indianapolis C? You know, like at what point do we just start labeling them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Because everything offends everybody. Like, this is the beginning of the end for all of these teams. So you Cleveland Indian fans, you better buy the Indians merchandise right now, because it's going to be worth a lot of money one day. Braves, same thing. Like, the Braves are saying they have no idea, or they're not going to change their name, but they're taking away the tomahawk chop. Does that mean the Kansas City Chiefs have to do the same thing? Can we no longer do our chop? Is it a racist thing then?
I guess so.
I mean, I don't understand how it is racist. But Mike, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, guys. If you guys are just tuning in here, we're still giving away that $100 Amazon gift card once you hit the 500 likes. All you gotta do is like our Facebook page, share this feed, and become a top fan, and join one of our trash talk groups as well. We already do have a top fan. I believe it was Steve Durr entered the top fandom there. So thank you, Steve, for becoming a top fan. So the beginning of the end is probably coming for the NBA. One of their top stars, Russell Westbrook, did test positive for COVID-19, and from my understanding, he was at the bubble location as well. So therefore, I've seen it firsthand here in the state of Kentucky. where one person tested positive for a COVID-19. Two weeks later, 149 people have it. So my question to you, Mike, is the NBA bubble getting ready to implode?
It might be. I mean, Russell Westbrook. He was one of the when they had that conference call. What was it, about a month ago? He was the main one leading the conference call. So right. I think so. I mean, obviously his voice carries weight. So.
Yeah, so I mean, the biggest concern about this is that he was in the bubble. I think. I mean, you have to be tested before you go into the bubble, like I guess, but there's usually some type of overlay waiting period. I'm sure he was working out with some of his teammates and some of his friends. It wouldn't be surprised me if they test positive for COVID-19 as well. The one thing that scares me about this was the NBA was probably the most isolated out of the sports. I mean, Major League Baseball is going to travel from city to city. NFL is going to travel NFL to city to city. And the NFL has recently put in a contingency plan saying that if you don't want to play the 2020 season, we'll still pay you the full amount. So with this happening in the NBA and with the Major League Baseball and NFL seasons are right around the corner, traveling from city to city, are you afraid we're not going to play NFL in the 2020 season?
No.
You're not afraid we're not going to play?
Nope. They're still going to play. The whatchamacallit, the
Players Association?
I totally lost track.
So basically what has happened is the NFL has put in a contingency plan saying that if you want to opt out of the 2020 season, they're going to still pay you your full salary because of the COVID-19 thing. So we've seen big Major League Baseball players sit out, that are going to sit out the 2020 season for the fear of fear of the COVID. Now, I don't think we're going to see any players sit out whatsoever by their own free will. They might be forced to sit out because they actually do get COVID or something to that effect. But my fear is that once a team gets COVID, because it is going to happen. A team is going to get COVID. There's going to be a widespread through one team, and then the other team's going to get quarantined too because they played the other the other team. Once that happens, I wonder if the NFL is going to shut down. I bet you we only get into week 3 or week 4 before something like this happens.
I don't know. I don't think so. Oakley just came out with a face shield or a face mask, right?
Yeah, I saw their prototype. But is Oakley approved by the NFL?
If they put this out, I'm sure. Right. The NFL kind of has no choice, right? Can't make these players wear masks on the field, but a face shield. If you think about it, it's a face shield. It goes from helmet all the way down to the bottom of the of the face mask. So I don't know. That was what I was trying to say when my wife messaged me and made me completely lose track of what I was saying.
So like we talked about off air here, like the NFL is always the next man up. So with that being said, if you are an NFL player and you decide to sit out the 2020 season, you are going to more than likely lose your job and never have a job ever again in the NFL. Look what Le'Veon Bell did. Yes, he set out a full season, but what has he done since then? Absolutely jack, right? So the NFL always has a next up mentality. And now I'm going to transition gears to the college football game. They are also offering players, hey, you can sit out the 2020 season, but I haven't heard, do they still get that extra year of eligibility? Do they get some type of gray shirt, red shirt type of thing? And then my next question is, if you are a college athlete and you sit out the season because of fear of COVID, do you pretty much kiss your football career away?
Unless they offer you some kind of extra year of eligibility, I think so.
Yeah, well, the problem with college football is there's always the next and better player coming. Like that is the magic of recruitment. They are a revolving door. Every year there's somebody bigger, badder, and faster than you coming to take your spot. Sony Hawkins, thank you for all the shares, my man. You've definitely been entered into the $100 Amazon gift card. With that being said, like, this season, like, honestly, like, at this point, I wouldn't be upset if the 2020 season NFL was just a wash. You know, like, just
watch your mouth, Buck.
Well, dude, like, I love football, and I'm looking forward in 2 weeks when training camp starts, and we get all the training camp news, and we see Big Ben zipping that ball 85 yards down the field, and then popping his elbow like out again or whatever he does. It's just, honestly, COVID kind of has me worried a tad bit now, because some players on my high school team had tested positive for it as well, and we've seen it in Ohio when a team gets it, they shut down the whole state. So if Indiana shuts down football for the whole state, I think the Indianapolis Colts kind of have to follow suit, right? Because if the state says you cannot have a gathering more than 5 people, a football team's 11. I mean, how does that work out?
Yeah, I mean, you make a really good point. Yeah, I mean, if the state mandates it, then yeah, I mean, what do you do for that team? I mean, look at speaking of, California just closed down again. So what does that mean for the Rams and
all the professional teams?
The Chargers.
Yeah, they had the Chargers, Rams, USC, UCLA. Yes, I know they're colleges, but they're professional teams. Like, in the end, I mean,
yeah. I mean, what do you like? Yeah, they. Oh man,
think about how much money.
I don't know.
So here in Indiana, Lucas Oil State Stadium is right in the heart of the state. I'm sure people would drive from 4 hours in like a circle, right, to come to Lucas Oil Stadium to watch the Indianapolis Colts play. You get bars filled up, hotels, parking, everything. If the Colts can't play home games and they have to play, I don't know, in somewhere like Illinois, like in Chicago, think about how much money the state of Indiana is going to lose, you know, or just the city of Indianapolis. I mean, this is bankrupt city. So it's just, it's pretty scary, like, at this point, like, that, like, NFL can control the economic shift so much. Like, isn't that crazy to you?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. But, guys, we're going to end it there tonight. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to our Facebook page to give a chance, a way to give that $100 Amazon gift card. Mike, any closing thoughts before we head out?
Man, if we do not have a football season this year, like, I might die.
You will not die, because you will be here. We'll be talking about the what is about Dak and everything else.
I mean, I guess if we don't have a football season, I like sim the games on Madden, and we can, like,
if we don't have a football season, does that mean Dak's franchise tender rolls over to the 2021 season and we're all talking about from square zero again?
God, I hope not.
Guys, that's going to be it for tonight. Mike and Mike Man Hour. Like us on Facebook, YouTube, rtfsportsnetwork.com, noon hour, East Coast time, Monday through Friday, and right here on Facebook Live, Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, like I said. Have a good night.